Hello. So, we're back. And this is the second in the two-part video of the Resiners bubble machine video. Now, I've got the machine down to one side because I can't fit it on the table with everything I've got on here. So I hope you enjoyed the first part where we did the testing of the machine and how much I loved it. It was so much fun. It was so exciting. I got a bit carried away with the machine. It was so exciting to see all the bubbles disappear and everything else. So I hope you enjoyed that. So I did promise to come back and to use the machine to do a more creative project rather than just testing it to do the to compare it with using the resin with and without the machine. So I have a mould I have been waiting to use for forever, and it's this one. And I love toadstools and fairies and butterflies and everything sweet and cute like that. So I want to do something different. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I'm a bit weird and a bit quirky, and I like to do things a bit different, my own way. So if it works, I have some of these little sweet chip-ins. Now, how do I open these? Shows how, because I never, hang on, I think it's just, yeah. Okay. See, I knew as soon as I opened them, I'm going to fall over. Look how pretty these are. So I've got some of those in blue and purple. Actually amethyst, and they've got another name. I can't remember what the blue one's called. So that's those. To match, I have some butterflies. That's a bit shiny actually. There, I can see that. I have some white and black ones that are less shiny. So if that, but I'm hoping. So what I'm hoping to do is cut a bit closer to make that smaller, smaller, so it'll go through the aperture. And I'm hoping to bend that, so we've got. Because on the back you can just see it's not so elegant on the back, so I want to bend it so we can see the side view, so it's pretty like that. And I've got the blue, and hopefully I think there's a couple of smaller ones in the blue, but basically the plan is this. I've got some purple wire, and with the purple wire I'm hoping to bend into a stem, and then the butterfly is hopefully going to sit. I'm going to bend and make like a, I wanted to use a twig to start with, but then the problem with putting natural things inside of resin, eventually you can, sometimes they can go a bit like mouldy and old and stuff, and I have put petals in resin, dried petals, and they've lasted for years and it's beautiful. And then other times they go brown and horrible. Now a stick is already brown. It's wood, it's already brown. But natural materials tend to cling. They tend to, like, little bits of natural fibres come off them, and they might trap little air pockets in there that are already in the wood, and it might release. So I'm thinking, no, I want this to be pretty, but I don't want it to have like little fibres come off and things like that. So I'm thinking a fake wire sort of stem is probably going to be easier, and it matches the aesthetics. So I'm thinking of doing something sort of stem-like inside, and then the butterfly is going to attach to that. I'm not quite sure how yet, but we'll figure that out. I do a lot of figuring out as I'm going along, and that's kind of, you know, you can prepare for everything, but sometimes you just figure out as you go along. And the whole reason I've been waiting to do this, and the whole reason I haven't done it is because I was scared of lots of bubbles. Now I have my bubble machine, you see now. So I'm hoping, as we had such good results with the Resiners machine that we shouldn't have a problem with lots of bubbles, and we should have this beautiful glass-like finish where we can actually see the butterfly and the wire inside the Toadstool. And I'm going to put a teeny bit of glitter in there because why not? Because I love glitter. So you should see the sparkle. You should see only a tiny bit because otherwise it will cloud. So you should see teeny bit of sparkle with the butterfly, with the iridescent, through there with the wire, and then on top I'm going to put, so if the angle of the butterfly is this side, hoping the angle of the external butterfly will be that side. That's the plan. Things don't always go to plan. So we adapt very quickly. Let's see what happens. And hopefully when we come back at the end of the project, it will look fab. And if it doesn't, well, okay, we tried. Let's see what happens at the end. I'll see you back in a bit. Okay, I apologise for the noise in the background. There is some noisy party in the park thing going on behind me, and they're making the biggest in. And I have to be careful because you're not allowed to hear songs and things, copyright laws and everything, so I'm going to have to try and be really quick. The resin I'm going to be using, I did want to use the resin that we did before, but I have realised that this mould is too deep for that resin, and it's going to, I don't know the depth that that resin can be poured to, and it is far too big and chunky for that resin, and we run the risk of it overheating and volcanoing on me. So I've got, this is why my video is a lot later out than I had planned because I've had to wait for this resin to arrive. Now I have never used this resin before, so we have a new resin to test our machine on. This is the craft resin and it is deep pour resin. So we'll have a quick look in the box, and then it is a 2:1 ratio. So we have 2 of part A and 1 of part B. So it's just going to be a little bit more fiddly for me to work out. So we're gonna hope that it's gonna. I've heard good things about this resin. So yes, we'll hopefully it's going to be good. What do we get in this box? We get a little stirrer. We get some gloves, which I'll probably use mine because they look a little bit thinner. And I just want to know if it's, I think it's ratio, but not by weight. Because normally when it just says 2:1, it's normally, but I will check all measurement. Let's have a look. 2:1 by volume. That's the most important thing, is you need to find out if your resin is by, I have used resins by weight, I have used resins by ratio before, so we just need, but the most important thing is that this is a deep pour, and it's stated when I bought it, it was a 2 to 4 inch. I just want to make sure that says it on here, but it advertised that I could pour up to 4 inches, and my mould is under 4 inches, but because it's got a fat bit and a thin bit. But I will be checking the temperature of the resin as we go, and I can pour if I want to up to here if I'm worried about it getting too hot, and then pour this after. But this is what we're going to be using, and we're going to be trying this in our machine and see how it goes. So I'm excited to try this new resin in my machine and see how the bubbling works. I'll go on to 9-minute setting first, and then we can do for another 5 minutes after if it doesn't do it. So let's get cracking. Okay, I've just read in the book it says 2 inches. On the website, on the Amazon website, and on the other website I was reading, it said 2 to 4 inches. So what I'm going to do is I am to the bottom here, to the bottom of this, it's 2 inches. So I'm going to pour up to the bottom of here, and I'm going to leave it to cool until we've got a good few hours in, and then I will pour the next section, and that is for safety reasons. That's so we don't get a supersonic heat, that's so we don't get an epoxy resin volcano. So I will do that, and we'll only need, so I'm probably going to do 5.5 ounces, which I think will be enough for this top, and then I will probably, so I may doctor the end of this. I'm not quite sure yet. I may doctor the end of this, because this I've made so that this doesn't come off, so it doesn't fall down. I may adjust the end of this in here so that I can pour the resin in. I'm going to have to think about that. This is going to be work in progress, as many projects are. Okay, so I've mixed the resin. It's got plenty of bubbles, but it's not too bad actually, this resin. I found it's not too bad. But I'm going to put before the music comes on really, really loud again. I'm going to go for the 9 minutes. I'm going to turn it on. I've made sure my plug is in. If you haven't seen the test and review of the Resiners Airless bubble removal machine, go and have a look at that. I did an in-depth review of the machine. I love it. It's really good. I got quite excited in the video because it's really fun to watch. But I've got 5 ounces in here now. So this is the first time I've used this resin in the machine, so I'll have a look how it goes. I'm going to turn it on and we're going to press the mode button and turn it from 5. It comes on automatically at 5. I'm going to press the mode button once and it's going to take me to 9. So on we go. Mode button takes me up to 9 and then it should come on automatically. My plug is in. It'll rise up to minus, because it's got a little minus here, minus 95. So it should take about a minute to get to there, and then it'll carry on counting down, and hopefully, if it does need any more after the 9, we'll put it on for a further 5. It depends on, every resin is different, and depends on the volume of the resin you have. Back in a bit. Okay, I've actually stopped it after 7 minutes because I actually believe that it's done enough. So what I'm going to do now is release the back plug, which will release the pressure. Then we have to wait 30 seconds. Then I'll, the music's still going on, so I'll have to turn you off. But I'll release the pressure, all the pressure's gone now, wait 30 seconds, I'll take the lid off, then we'll have a look at the resin. Right, so this has took me forever. And I've no idea what's inside there because I literally can't see. So when I was putting it in place, I was like, oh, I was hoping I'd be able to see through the mould to see. So I've no idea whether it's totally wonky, whether it's fallen off, whether what we have in there at all. So I'm just going to have to go with the flow. If it looks terrible, I'll just have to try and make it look unterrible on the outside because there's nothing I can do about that now. So once I put the main piece in, I wanted something of a little bit more interest in this in here. So I did this as one pour. Then I did this piece here, the sort of the stalk of the toadstool as a second piece. And then I did the up to the blue tack, and then I painstakingly, it took forever. It did work. Putting the glitter did give me a barrier because I don't know that the blue tack, I don't know if the blue tack would have come away without it. I'm not sure. It might have done. It might not have done. I don't know. But it did work in giving me that glitter. And then what I've done, after painstakingly pulling out all of the blue tack, I have then filled this piece with UV resin because the thought of waiting another day, I've waited days and days for this. The thought of waiting another day, because the craft resin takes like 24 to 48 hours, and it did take the 48 hours. It was still squidgy. So we're on sort of like day 3 now. And so the thought of waiting another day, pouring more of, no, thank you. So I've done this with Sophie and Toffee UV resin for silicone moulds because I had some of that left from one of the boxes. So I've used that. So this is all, now I've probably got some, I might have some bubbles in there somewhere, and I might have some bits of, I don't know if I've got any bits of blue tack in there, but it's okay because we're going to do some. And this, oh look at the pretty that is. Is he in there? So I'm hoping, I did put some extra bits of wire in there to give it a bit of interest in the stem, and that's okay. But I've no idea if this is going to come off. I don't know. I don't know whether this is stretchy enough to pull over there, or whether I'm actually going to have to. I don't know. I've never used one of these before, so I don't know. If it doesn't, I've got the water and soap trick I can try, things like that. If it'll just pop back in. I do normally use a bit of oil actually and pop it out. It's my oil to hand. I found it. It's actually right in front of me. Okay, right, so let's have a go. I don't think for a second this is going to stretch over the top of here, because I just don't think it's possible. Just don't think it's possible to get this out this way. Right, just a bit of the old baby oil. I'm going to get a tissue. I'm going to get messy. Tell me when I do something when I don't get messy. Right, and the idea is we squish the baby oil around in there. And you sort of push the air bubble all the way around. See, and then see how it makes it all soft and squidgy. Okay, and then it's supposed to want to pop right out, and it's worked for lots of different moulds I've done. See, it's all loose in there now. And see how sort of the mould goes all, but I still don't know. Oh, hang on. Oh, can you see that then? Oh, I don't know. Has it got that much squishability in it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you going to pop out or are you going to rip? Well, if it rips, it's my fault, but can you? It might. And if we ever make this mould again, we're going to end up with a bigger, with a bigger one. And the thing is, it gets a bit unruly and you end up throwing your project across the... Come on, come on. Oh, oh, see? Oh, wow. Okay, okay. He went right to the top. But look, it's a bit cloudy now because I've got oil all over it and it's a bit slippy. But it's so pretty. You can see his wings and everything. Can you see him? Her. I should say her. Sorry, baby. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I'm so pleased it worked. Okay, right. I'm covered. I'm gonna wipe up. Back in a minute. Okay, I've wiped off all the oil, dried it. Can you see? Can you see the clarity of the resin is unreal. I was scared of using this mould because I thought I was going to get millions of bubbles. I can see one bubble, and that is next to the, I don't know whether you can see it, next to the butterfly. So that's probably as I've pushed the butterfly in and it's clinging to the, and I don't know whether it's where I've UV'd the, it might actually be the UV resin itself, where I've actually UV'd the butterfly to the wire, but the resin itself is absolutely perfect. So I'm so glad that I chose this mould, although my butterfly is a bit close to the top. I would have liked my butterfly to have been down, but I couldn't see in the mould. That's the only thing. I would have liked my butterfly to have been down further, but I couldn't see. Once he'd gone in there, I couldn't see him. So that's my only thing I would have liked but I can see his wings really nice and his little gems. I should say her, really. I always think of butterflies as little girls, but it's beautiful. The glitter is just enough glitter that every time you turn it, you get that sparkly effect. You actually probably can't see as well there because the lights are all shining. But every time you turn it, these little bubbles are distracting the camera. But every time you turn it, you get a little teeny bit of sparkle. I love the wires in the bottom. They're giving like that kind of like I just wanted it to be like whimsical and weird and unusual, which is a little bit me. This is went a little bit deeper than I slightly wanted it to, but then it was heavy and I couldn't do it on the wooden stick for very long because I couldn't, I had to take the wooden stick off because I couldn't pour the next set of resin around the stick. So it's kind of a trial and error thing, but the mould is lovely. Look at all these little, look at the, can you see that? Sort of, which you can't see on the inside of the mould until you pull it out. It's beautiful. I love it. So, what am I going to do next? Well, you know I'm not just going to leave it like that. Because I'm a little bit, I don't know, I've got to keep messing. So, I've got a little heart that with some leftover resin. So, I'm going to use this little heart. I've got a butterfly in like a blue, which I think still goes quite nice, like a purpley blue. So that's going to go on the top here. I'm going to put the little heart on here. Sorry, camera battery went again. Right, so I was thinking I should do it that way so that the wings show on the side, but actually that's better, isn't it? Because you're going to see this one mostly from the top. So, little heart. I'm running out of hands now. On there, a little on there, because straight onto the thing, I think that's a little bit on there. And then, because that's just not enough, I've got one of these little light bases. Now, there's a lot of glitter down here, so it's not going to, but I didn't want it to shoot straight up and be, because you won't see anything. So, see, it's too, so from the side, it's really pretty. Look at all the glitter that lights up. So, but that's still not quite enough. So, oh, I've turned that off now because you won't see. I have, if I do a project and I have too much resin, I always pour it into another mould. You're not going to throw it away, are you? So, I have those coaster moulds. You know, I used the coaster moulds for the project, for the review we just did on the Resiners machine. So, I used the same coaster mould and I had some resin left over, so I poured it into there. I did some glitter, as you do. So I thought, well, I'll use it for the base. Remember these little funky dudes? So, what about if Toadstool's got to have something to sit on. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see? So what about if we put this on there, butterfly on here, and then what about if we play around with some of these and scatter some of these down the bottom, some blue and some purple. Oh, you can't even see them because, okay, like this. They're underneath. And if we play around with some of these really nice shell pieces around the bottom, and perhaps some out here if they need to, and I'll see if I've got any other gemmy bits. So, follow along and see what you think. Okay, my cogs are turning as I'm doing things, and I'm remembering things that I've got in my craft stash as I'm going. So, I just remembered I've got some of these little, can you see those without these little glass chips? They say they're glass chips, but I don't know whether they are actually glass. And they've got this metallic purple coating. I've just been putting these, sort of placing them in place, and I keep thinking they're a bit flat and there's something missing. What about if I do a little bank of these around, like not that high because you'll sort of detract, and then put these in a bit of place, and then I've got these in the blue colour which would sort of sprinkle and scatter around with the blue of that. How about that? I'm hoping it's going to look as good as in my head, but it might not. These things don't always. But I'm going to use UV resin and I'm going to do it bit by bit. So I'm kind of a bit nervous about making a mess and ruining it this far in, but we'll have a go. we are all done. I've put you down for a better angle now. Hope you can see better. I could do with one of those turny round things, you know, like one of those little spinner things. What do you think? I've turned off some of my lights because they're just so blaring that how's that? It's hard for you, the light bounces back so much. But I love it. It's so sweet. See if I can get the butterfly. It's hard for the butterfly. You can see the butterfly inside. I need to get like. It's difficult. I'll take some photos. I'll show some photos. But I'll turn on the light. Isn't it pretty? Looks really sweet. And yeah, I'll turn off some lights and we can have a look. There we go, that's better. It lights up a bit there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's took me a very long time. Turn around a little bit so you can see that way. It's took me a very long time. I'm so pleased with the results though. I'm really pleased with how clear I've been able to get the resin. It really has come out so lovely. I would not have been able to get such a clear bubble-free resin, I don't think, without using the machine. I have tried deep moulds before, and I've always managed to get bubbles. No matter how long I let my resin sit, no matter how slow cure my resin is, I've always managed to get bubbles. So, there we go. Ah, look. So I'm so happy to be using the Resiners Airless bubble machine now. It means that I can do so many more things, so many more of the bigger moulds that I couldn't do before. So I will have some more resin pieces on the channel, and yeah, hopefully I'll have some more. I've got projects coming out of my ear-holes at the moment, but yeah, we'll do some more projects with it. We'll do some more designs, and yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Take care. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you've watched the whole video, you are amazing. Thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.